This is an instructional video for the Thematic Unit assignment in CHD 120. This assignment is one of your larger assignments and is usually not going to be due until the end of the semester. What this assignment does is it prepares you for writing lesson plans in which you will do for all of your other CHD classes for art, music, movement, math, science, social studies, reading methods, language arts, and sometimes health and guiding behavior. So what we're going to do is start kind of easy. This assignment has a few different components. One of the components is that you are going to design or choose a thematic unit. This means, what is the theme, say, you might teach for 1 week? For instance, in the fall, I usually teach about a week's unit on pumpkins, another week maybe on apples. Maybe I'll do another weekend on harvest and fall. Common units for the winter time might be snowmen and holidays, different things like that. In the springtime, we talk about the season. Units might be about flowers and trees growing or butterflies. Okay, so you're going to choose one unit, and that is what all of your different activities are going to flow from. Now, I've given you several different links. Now, if you are a face-to-face student, you have an assignment packet, and at the very end of it, it says resources, and it gives you lots of links. If you're online, you will have the links within your folder for the thematic unit. But I did want to show you some of them. One of the links is preschool education. It's www.preschooleducation.com. You can go on here and click down here to theme topics, and it will give you a ton of different themes that you can pick from. So as you see, there is all kinds of stuff, from camping to bugs to fire safety, flowers, hats, penguins, pets, you name it. So on this site, you can actually click one of these and it'll give you a bunch of different activities. For instance, if it was February, that's Dental Awareness Month, I would click dental. Say that's going to be my, oh, let's see, I don't know what this is, so let's get out of that. I would have lots of different activities. So this is all dental stuff. It'll give me a bunch of arts and crafts, games, music and songs, science, so I can click on those and get ideas. For instance, let's see what we have for science. Here's 2 different activities that are science, which is cognitive, you could use for this activity. So this is one good website. Another is Pinterest. And specifically, one of the websites I've given you is a Pinterest board by Deborah at Teach Preschool. And these are several boards that have lots of ideas, and they are done by theme. So here's an All About Me board that has tons of ideas for the All About Me theme. Alphabet themes. We have birds and nests. We have, what else do we have? Let's see, caterpillars and butterflies. So if I wanted to do a whole theme on caterpillars and butterfly, I could click here and see a ton of different activities for young children to do for caterpillars and butterflies. Look at all this. Isn't this amazing? Pinterest is our friend as an educator. Okay, so that is your first thing you're going to do. You're going to pick a theme. All right. Next, you're going to pick 5 books that could be used to teach this theme. So you might go to the library, either the public or the school library. Here on campus, we do have a children's section, and you would find 5 age-appropriate books. Now, because I taught for so long, I could already pick out some books that would have to do with, say, butterflies and caterpillars. For instance, Eric Carle's The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So you're going to list 5 books along with the author. Okay. Now let me tell you, I've already included a template for you to use, so it's already set up with everything. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. So this is what your template looks like. You'll put your unit right here. So let's say butterflies and caterpillars. You'll put your name here, and then you'll list your 5 books right here. So you might go down and say book number 1, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, author Eric Carle, and then you'll go on and write 5 more. Okay, so that is going to be the second part. After you choose a theme, you're going to choose 5 books. The next part is going to be writing just very, very basic activities you can do that fall under each of the domains. So if you're listening to this, we are probably about to go into the part of the book that discusses all of the domains, which is chapter 9 through 13, where we're going to learn about physical, gross motor, social emotional, creative, cognitive, all the areas that children learn. So we're going to do a chapter on each of these, and at the beginning of the school year, you might remember we went over the milestones of child development, foundation blocks, and SOLs, which tell us what children learn. Okay, so what this looks like is you are going to find an activity for each of these and give it a name. Then you're going to write the standard for milestones, SOLs. Then you're going to write an objective and just a short description of the activity. So here's an example of one I did. I picked the topic Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which, yes, that's a book, but I can do a whole week's worth of lesson on that. So I chose 5 books that had to do with Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, Chicka Chicka 1, 2, 3, Shiver Me Timbers, or Shiver Me Letters, Nuts for Coconuts, and Eating the Alphabet. All right, so our first domain is physical, fine and gross motor. So I chose to do a letter toss. And I looked at milestones, and as you can see, I listed exactly what the indicator is and where I got it, which is milestones of child development under physical development, gross motor, A7, page 41. So when you open milestones, you're going to look in each area, each domain. So I knew that this was going to be gross motor, so I went right here to gross motor development, and then I looked, okay, what age group should be able to toss letters? So what I chose was, I believe it was A11, use balance and control to perform large motor tasks. So all you do is copy and paste it over. I'm sorry, I did A7. But you write down exactly what it says in the book, where you got it, what domain it was in, and the page number. From there, you write an objective. So you say, what is the child learning? The child will, and then you copy and paste exactly what you got out of milestones. Coordinate movements and more complex gross motor tasks such as throwing. So see how I just copied this here? And then you tell us how they're going to learn that in this activity. So they're going to learn to coordinate movements when they throw letters in the bin. It's just a tossing game. Okay, moving on, we're not going to go through each of these, but I wanted you to get an idea. So our next domain is creative. Well, after you go through the creative chapter, you're going to know that creative domain is art, music, dramatic play, and dance. Okay, so I chose a dramatic play activity. I called it the Letter Restaurant. So of course I went into milestones of child development and looked under fine arts, theater arts. Okay, so I would open milestones. I know I'm going to choose a dramatic play thing. And I'm going to say, okay, I know dramatic play falls under fine arts and theater arts. So for my activity, the children are going to be pretending to be in a restaurant ordering letters. So that means I'm going to look around and say, okay, what are they learning when they do that? I chose participate with others in dramatic play, negotiating roles and setting up events. That is what they are learning. So I just copy and paste that right in and show where I got it from. Milestones of development, fine arts, theater arts, C8, page 38. Then I go from there and write my objective. Again, the child will, and then I copy and paste, here's what they're learning according to milestones. And then how will they learn it? And I just realized that was a typo. So they're actually going to learn this as they pretend to act out a letter restaurant. Not restraint. There we go. All right. Then I'm going to give a short description of the activity. So we'd set up the chairs, children are going to pretend to take orders, and everything must have a letter in their name. For instance, I want tea to drink, or I want S, soup. So the server is practicing writing letters and cooking the food. Okay? Next we go on. This is as simple for social and emotional as just doing a puzzle. Okay, children are going to do a puzzle, and what they learn from that is cooperate with others, which was found on milestones. Since I know it's social and emotional, I know that it's going to be one of these, strand 1, 2, and 3. So I looked through them to find out, what should children be learning? And what I found was that children can, where did I get it? Children can cooperate with others, which is A11. Okay, so I wrote that down, and then you would keep going. So I did several of these. Next, what you would do on the lesson plan is after you do all 5 of these small activities, you're going to choose one, and you're going to kind of expand it a little bit. So let's say I decided to do, how about coconut senses? That was my cognitive idea. So my activity is coconut senses, and what that is children are going to actually utilize a real coconut from the book Chicka Chicka Boom Boom to describe how it feels and tastes and sounds. So we are going to do this both in small group and large group, and what they are learning came out of milestones, cognition, scientific knowledge on page 28. It says that students will describe the observable properties using pictures and words. So for my objective, I wrote exactly that, and they're going to do that when they explore the coconut by touching, smelling, hearing, and tasting. So I've already got a lot of the lesson plan done. I'm just going to copy my title here. Coconut, what did I call it? Coconut senses, my standard. I'm going to copy and paste this part right here down to the standard. My objective, I've already written that, so I'm going to again copy and paste this right down here, and I'm going to say age group. All right, so let's see. A10 on page 28. Let's see what age group that was. You'll notice A10 is right here. So that is for children 48 months and older. So on my paper, I'm going to type in 4 years plus right here, 4 plus. I'm going to list all my materials. So it will be a poster board, a marker, a few real coconuts, maybe some shaved coconut. Next, for prior knowledge, I'm going to say how I'm going to get the students ready for this. How am I going to get them excited? So, I'm sorry, that's the next one. Prior knowledge is going to be how will I find out what they know? So I might write a KWL chart. I'm going to ask them, what do you know about coconuts? What do you want to know about coconuts? That's going to tell me what children already know. And then to get them excited for what's called a lesson anticipatory set or an advanced organizer, I'm going to read them a book about coconuts that I had listed. So up here I might say I'm going to read the book called Nuts for Coconuts. That's going to get them excited about what we're doing. Then I'm going to list everything that I'm going to say and do. So this is going to be a script. It's going to say how I'm going to talk to the children, what I'm going to do when I pull out the coconut, what questions I will ask. This should be very detailed and probably will be close to 1 page long. All right, and as we close the lesson, we're going to talk about how we're going to do that. So you're going to restate, today we read a book about coconuts and then we used a real one. We decided that we liked the way it tasted, but you're going to review the day, and then finally, how are you going to assess whether the children met the objective? How will you know if those children were able to describe the observable properties? You're going to say, I will observe whether or not the children described. You might even ask open-ended questions. Okay, and that's how you do it. Make sure to use your grading rubric, which is with your instructions. It looks just like this on the right page. It's going to tell you exactly what to do to get all the points. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at jehopkins@tcc.edu. Have fun!